Hi, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us in today's webinar, How to Develop a Successful Marketing Strategy with LinkedIn Ads. My name is Amandine Pellaton, and I lead our demand gen efforts at Marine Software. LinkedIn is an important lead generation destination for B2B marketers and others with longer sales cycle. Yet, it's still an untapped opportunity for a lot of marketers. So we partnered with LinkedIn today to provide you with quick and actionable insights to drive high-value leads and take your LinkedIn campaigns to the next level. So a few important details for today's webinar. You can ask a question at any time using the question feature in your webinar window. If we're not able to address all the questions today, we'll follow up with you offline. A recording of today's webinar will be emailed to all attendees. So I'm joined today by Melissa D'Arienzo, who's a channel sales director at LinkedIn, and Lauren Niels, who's a customer engagement manager at Marine and one of our LinkedIn experts. So today, Melissa is going to kick things off with LinkedIn Insights. Then Lauren and I will share 5 proven growth strategies, and we'll then open the floor for some questions. Over to you, Melissa.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, which I'm super excited to co-host with Marin One, our newest and greatest marketing platform partner. Today, I'm here to talk about LinkedIn very broadly, and then we'll get into some B2B and digital transformation trends. So next slide, please. So to talk about LinkedIn is really to talk about our vision first and foremost, to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. To create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. Now, this is really the DNA of LinkedIn. It's behind everything we do, whether it's R&D or go-to-market. Every time we do a new initiative or build a new product, it's with this in mind. And it'll weave very nicely and importantly into everything we talk about today. Next slide, please. So here to talk about a few customer and business trends. So not particularly to advertising and marketing, but rather macro trends we've seen on our platform as of late. So some of these trends emerged out of the pandemic, and I want to go through a few of these with you today. So economic recovery, new workplace norms, digital transformation, more diverse and inclusive workplaces, and trust. So when we talk about economic recovery, we're really seeing a boom in GDP and the labor market. Particular sectors have seen increased growth. E-commerce, for example, has grown 73%, digital content creators 44%, and digital marketers 33%. Woo, most people in this room, hopefully. We're also seeing economic health rebound closely linked with vaccine rollout. So that really varies country to country. The higher the vaccine rollout, the healthier the economy of these countries. Second, we're seeing new workplace norms, particularly for employers that are welcoming people back into the office and employees really interested in flexible work. And so we're at a crossroads, a pivotal time in how we decide to go about this new normal, this new hybrid, flexible, remote work environment, and the impact those decisions will have on our culture, and ultimately how that impacts retaining and hiring new talent. Excuse me. There's also digital transformation. And so that's happening across businesses and individuals. As we mentioned, e-commerce has grown 3-fold. That's at pre-pandemic levels. And things, for example, such as telehealth. We had never before been able to see our doctors, right, remotely and virtually. That, for example, is here to stay. Then we see diverse and inclusive workplaces as a macro trend, something we've heard for a while, sort of buzzy, but really exacerbated post-pandemic. Something near and dear to my heart. I'm super excited to see real momentum behind these initiatives, again, post-pandemic. So one of the top C-level roles that we're seeing on the platform today is Chief Diversity Officer, which couldn't be more excited to share with you all. As well as in our top 20 most in-demand skills, 3 of them are around diversity, inclusion, and belonging. So putting some action behind those words that we've been hearing for a while now. Finally, the importance of trust. So we're seeing increased regulation around the importance of trust and privacy, lots going on in the EU and therefore globally. We're really holding people accountable to that level of trust at an individual and government level. So those are the macro trends, individual business we're seeing on the platform. Again, not specific to advertising and marketing, but rather the overall ecosystem. Next slide, please. So now if we do dig a little bit deeper into the digital transformation of the B2B space, we believe LinkedIn is uniquely placed to tackle a lot of these macro trends, or to really play an important role in these macro trends. We have 810 million members worldwide. That's 810 million members coming to the platform to mentor, teach, learn, provide jobs, products, and personal recommendations, to discover new trends and services. And so because of all of this activity, we've seen rapid growth and engagement on our platform. So as of late, 30% year-on-year increase in sessions on LinkedIn, 40% year-on-year increase in content creation, and 48% year-on-year increase in conversations. So truly one of the highest engaged times in our history. Now we've talked about hybrid work, and so working digitally, being hired digitally, but also people are learning skills digitally. So this is really an exciting time for LinkedIn as a manifestation truly of our vision of creating economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce through this digital transformation. So we've trained over 30 million people in new skills to help them obtain new jobs or change industries or get promoted within. And so getting hired, learning, and what does that mean for sales and marketing? Well, a recent McKinsey report showed that only 25% of B2B buyers want to meet people face-to-face, salespeople face-to-face. Like, let that sit for a moment. 25%. So 75% of B2B buyers don't want to see people face-to-face anymore. And so what does that mean for us? Well, that really reinforces that every company needs to market their products and services in a digital way, in a digital environment. And in B2B, that means less face-to-face events, so more of this, as you're all here for that reason, and more digitally enabled experiences. Also means there has to be an acceleration in digital marketing channels and platforms. Next slide, please. So this is the full gamut of the LinkedIn roadmap, new features and enhancements for this calendar year for 2022. You can gloss over all of these, but I will dig deep into just a few. So Audience Insights is really one of the ones that I'm most excited about. It is an API first feature. So that means that our marketing and advertising partners will have first access to build on this before being native on our Campaign Manager tool. The Audience Insights feature, it will allow marketers to plan, manage, and learn about audiences. And so that includes demographic composition of your audiences, uncover content and topics that matter to your audiences, and track engagement of those audiences. And that will be launching this year. In terms of new ad formats, we will be launching document ads, so your ability to upload and sponsor documents such as white papers or ebooks directly on the LinkedIn feed. So it'll drive engagement within the feed, not having to leave the feed or leave LinkedIn, and therefore hopefully higher CTRs. Then we have click to message ads. This new objective will drive members of the feed to the inbox. There's a clear CTA, that's start chat, within the feed, and this format will be available globally, and it's the only messaging format available in the EU moving forward. So those of you headquartered in the EU or the large customer base in the EU, you're probably privy to all the new privacy laws, really limiting a lot of our ways to contact customers directly. And this message ad is compliant, and therefore the only message ad that LinkedIn has available in the EU. I invite you to take full advantage of it. And on that note, conversation starter ads not available in the EU will be a fixed placement on the inbox. So think of like pinned, right? Sort of at the top, really allowing high intent professionals to start conversations with brands. Then we can go into newsletters. brands can now publish recurring articles on certain topics to instantly build subscriber communities. And so you can publish your first newsletter and all of your page followers will be notified, creating immediate engagement. Now, this is something that members have been able to do for a while, so you might have had notifications from particular people, but now brands can do this as well. And then company engagement reporting. Account engagement scoring is now live, which enables marketers to receive reports on account-based marketing metrics. But so companies most ready to be contacted by sales and engagement scores by buyer audiences broken down by company. So all these things are available today, but what's coming new in the coming months is you'll be able to export CSVs and hopefully very soon CRM integrations to, for all of these metrics to go directly into your CRM. And on a similar note, we are working on revenue attribution report that will allow your business manager on LinkedIn to connect to your CRM, and you can understand how LinkedIn ads are having direct business impact on your KPIs. And that is it from me for now, and I will pass it over to Lauren.
Thanks, Felisa. Well, I'm very excited about audience insights, so looking forward to this. So I'm going to introduce to you 5 growth strategies, and we are going to dive into a more tactical angle and share what has been successful on LinkedIn for either Marine as a B2B advertiser or some of our customers. You should be able to implement most of these straight away to see some quick wins in your campaigns. Right, so let's start with how to design a full funnel marketing strategy. Ultimately, what you want to achieve is to drive better website traffic, build awareness, and generate higher quality leads with your LinkedIn ads. In the past, I was often tempted to jump straight to the easily measurable conversions tactics, say website conversions or lead generation. But recently, we've seen great success with an emphasis on both at the same time. Meaning, both lead gen and branding. If you're only focusing on driving demand, but your audience doesn't know about your brand, they're less likely to convert. So let's say I'm promoting this webinar, for example, and you see the ad on LinkedIn, and you might be thinking, who's Marine? What do they do? If I run at the same time a branding campaign about Marine being an official LinkedIn partner, and you see this in your web journey on LinkedIn, then this will likely be more effective and successful. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, but you can pick in LinkedIn Campaign Manager the objective of your campaign. In this case, I would pick awareness for branding and conversion either on the website if you're using your own landing page, or lead generation to use a form on LinkedIn. In terms of budget, there's really no right or wrong split for branding versus direct response advertising. You need to be testing. It's very flexible. But I think you can start with a 40-60 split, 40 branding, and that should give you, a good start. Now, Lauren, I know you had a great example of full funnel strategy. Do you mind sharing it with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So we tend to see great performance on LinkedIn ads for businesses with long sales cycles in industries like B2B and EDU. But for these long cycle full funnel marketing efforts, it's important to optimize towards the different stages of the funnel and the user journey, and make sure that those users at the top of the funnel are led down to the bottom and eventually convert, right? So for example, we had an EDU client who classifies users into upper and lower funnel categories based on the way that they engage with their website. So for upper funnel campaigns, they would retarget page visitors, while lower funnel campaigns target higher intent website interactions like form fills. But they were facing a challenge where upper funnel campaigns weren't really driving conversions, and lower funnel retargeting audiences were too small. So to mitigate this, they decided to adapt a full funnel approach to their LinkedIn bidding. So they looked at the conversion rates from a high funnel action to a low funnel action for each campaign, and then applied bid modifiers accordingly. So say my client was running a LinkedIn ad campaign to generate consideration for their grad program for marketing professionals. and 20% of users who clicked on an ad in that campaign later performs a lower funnel action down the line, like filling out an interest form. They would then increase the bid on that upper funnel campaign by 20%. So you can get more specific and granular with it, but that's just like a basic example of the way that they were able to increase investment on upper funnel campaigns that they knew were actually going to lead to lower funnel interactions later on. And they were actually able to work with me to automate this whole process using Marin. So now I'll pass it back to Amandine to talk a little bit about audiences.
Thanks, Lauren. Right, so yeah, let's talk about audiences. And let's start with the basic, the native audiences in LinkedIn. First advice, and I've been guilty of doing that at the start, is don't try to narrow your audiences too much. Start wider and work your way into a more niche target. For example, test job titles versus skills and seniority. I was working with a list of job titles of people previously involved in closing deals in our sales cycle. But the complexity here is that there are so many variations of a similar role at different companies. So try selecting skills and seniority instead and test the two audiences. It works really well for me. So Lauren mentioned earlier retargeting, which is a type of matched audience in LinkedIn. Matched audience is a set of targeting options to combine your first-party business data with LinkedIn professional data. Whether you want to nurture some leads, sales to existing accounts, re-engage people who have visited your website, or find more people who match an audience already familiar with your business, matched audience are a great tool for you. These are great to run ABM campaigns as well. But just a quick tip, your list shouldn't be too small. I think the best practice is at least 1,000 companies or 10,000 contacts. Right. So what if I want to take it further and look at it across channel? Lauren, can I leverage my audience across paid search and LinkedIn, for example? And I think we just got a question about this actually. So that's going to be very relevant.
Perfect. Yes, absolutely, you can. So what you're kind of talking about is called search intent audiences. With search intent audiences, you can create an audience of users that interact with your ads on search and then retarget them on a social platform. So to provide another client example, we have a software client who noticed a trend that some of their keywords were getting clicks from more junior employees doing research on their industry, and other more specific keywords are being searched and clicked on by senior managers and decision makers at their target types of companies. So they created 2 different search intent audiences based on the intent from the search terms, and they hit those senior decision makers with retargeting ads on LinkedIn. And this enabled them to drive more qualified leads, which is great. That's the goal. Additionally, you can use these first-party search intent audiences to create lookalike audiences on LinkedIn to do more prospecting and maybe reach even more new potential buyers. So search intent tools are a really great tool for remarketing, and using Marin, we were also able to simplify this process by automating the creation of those audiences. And now I'll pass it back to Melissa, who is going to share some insights on how you can create some really engaging creative.
Thank you, Lauren and Amandine. Wonderful to hear all of your customers using LinkedIn and Marin effectively and maximizing their marketing strategies. So I'm here to talk a little bit about Engage Creative. So what are the most effective B2B creatives have in common on our platform? Well, they are 1, disruptive, 2, interactive, and 3, inspiring. And so we need to create truly thumb-stopping experiences. I love this. I love this sentence, thumb-stopping, right? What a new world we live in. Demand engagement in the newsfeed. So how do we create it in a way that's interactive, that's really pulling people in, and inspiring? So inspiring by entertaining or informing. Next slide, please. So believe it or not, the last stats on how much we consume content every day is close to 7 hours a day across platforms. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. 7 hours of content a day. I'm not sure when we're working and sleeping otherwise, but somehow we seem to jam it all in. And so now more than ever, and this trend's probably not going to, go anything but forward. How do we really break out from the noise and captivate people's attention? Next slide, please. So the first trait is disruptive. So prepare for the fact, again, that your audience is consuming content all the time. They might be content saturated. And so how do you develop, how do you make the most out of that real estate? How do you make it the most engaging, disruptive, really catch eyeballs as much as possible? Next, please. So interactive. Now, avoid doing interactive for the sake of interactive, but anything that that catches, again, the attention of your audience, whether it's a poll or a question or a video that really weaves in a nice storyline. Think about how you are doing B2C and really translate it to B2B, because again, there are people behind these decisions. When we talk about marketing to businesses, we often leave out the professional, the person behind that decision that is also keen to, interact with your brand in a way that creates trust and inspiration and really that relationship. Next slide, please. Lastly, how do you make it inspiring? Again, our audience on LinkedIn is there with a professional mindset, but they're also aspirational. They are there to grow, to develop, to learn about new services and skills. And so it's really a learning and very open mindset, trusting mindset that our consumers, our members who are consumers, have on the platform. And so maximize that, right? Think about, how do you deliver B2C content and put it in a B2B context that is inspiring to our audience. Next, please. So to wrap it up, there's more competition for eyeballs now more than ever before. Take creative risk to get noticed. 2, professional and senior stakeholders are people too, and some are open to B2B creative approaches just as in B2C. And have fun with your creative. Your audience will have fun consuming it. I think this is a lovely moment to share with everyone, if you don't already know, our first B2B award at Cannes Lions this year, in partnership with LinkedIn, with the B2B Institute, which is our think tank, really promoting and inspiring creativity in the B2B world. I had a colleague once tell me, we've made selling soap really sexy. How do we not make, $1 million solutions in SaaS not sexy? It's a much more broad and huge product. Like, how do we not add more creativity and juice and fun behind these things? And hopefully it's the dawn of a new era where marketers across our industry and our ecosystem really think of B2B in a new way, which doesn't have to be a boring infographic, but rather reminding us all that there are people behind those decisions who also want to be inspired. Back to Amandine.
Awesome. Thank you. That was great. So we talked about setting up your campaigns and audiences and creatives. So now to measurements. So you can set up your LinkedIn pixel to different conversion types, whether it's a demo request, a white paper download, or a webinar sign up. All these are events you capture on your website upstream. But this is just the beginning. Ultimately, what we all want is to close some business, not 100,000 white paper downloads if none of those people want to start a sales conversation. So, don't stop there. And Melissa mentioned, I think this is coming in the roadmap, that you're going to be able to link your CRM to look at downstream events. But Lauren, do you have an example on how to optimize your campaigns to the revenue that advertisers track in the CRM? How would that work?
Yeah, absolutely. I always recommend optimizing your automated bidding towards offline conversion events. Any conversion type that's valuable to you, we want to optimize towards, right? So it's best to optimize your campaigns using the conversion data in your source of truth. So my various clients utilize many different sources of truth for their conversion data, such as Google Analytics, Salesforce, Seismic, in-house systems, you name it. So, for some campaigns, it's about reach, and then for others, it's about driving leads, and we want to be able to optimize towards both of those things at once, right? So you could use a lead form event on LinkedIn, optimize towards that as one conversion event. Then you're also driving traffic from that form to the website, and there's other conversion actions there, which can be tracked utilizing a pixel, or with your source of truth conversion tracking. And then, that touch on your website is also just the beginning. So you want to make sure you're optimizing towards your offline conversions from maybe your CRM as well, in order to get your best return on investment. And using a platform like Marin can help you do this, because we allow you to unify your front end and back end data in our bidding suite, and utilize all those conversion types in one optimization platform. And now, moving forward, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how you can take your campaigns to the next level with a LinkedIn marketing partner. So ultimately, all of the things that I've mentioned so far are things that you can do more quickly and easily using a partner such as Marin. So to dive a bit more into the details, I have a couple of different ways you can work at scale using Marin. First, I'll talk about campaign scheduling. So you can schedule in bulk when campaign groups or ads, turn on and off, and automatically pause your campaigns based on KPIs like month-to-date spend or conversion rate, and you can do this across all your different publishers. You can also use our platform for budget management and budget pacing. So you can manage your spend for all of your different marketing campaigns in one place. Our pacing feature automatically tracks how your spend is pacing towards the targets you set for the month or the quarter, and makes suggestions for new daily spend goals, if you need to make tweaks to how much you're spending in order to actually hit your monthly or quarterly targets. And again, this is across all platforms. We also offer unified reporting and data export. So unified reporting means marrying your front end data from all your publishers with your back end data from your source of truth for conversions. So you get the whole picture of how your campaigns are performing. I think having this data automatically married is a big time saver that any digital marketing advertiser can benefit from. And additionally, we have some clients who use what we call our BI Connect solution. And this sort of utilizes Marin as a sort of data warehouse. So you can marry your front end and back end data in Marin, and then automatically export it and send it to another reporting platform. Like, say you're already using an in-house reporting platform where you use Google Data Studio or something, Marin can unify that data for you and then automatically feed that data visualization platform if you're interested in that. And then lastly, our automated account insights, I think, are really interesting and valuable. So our team has developed over 200 of what we call insights, and these are basically performance checks that run daily on all of your accounts that are linked into Marin. And an insight could be anything from the budget cap campaigns insight you see on the screen here, to recommendations to change bidding targets for better performance, to letting you know that some of your landing pages are generating 404 errors. So it's basically just built-in account maintenance to save you some valuable time. And overall, we're happy to see that our customers see an average of 30% time savings while using Marin. And we love giving our clients that extra time in the workday to do other stuff, brainstorm, do high-level planning, take a walk, whatever you need to do. We know their time is valuable, and we want to help them have more of those hours in a day. And now to tell you just a bit about our bidding optimization suite. We've had clients seeing really good success using Marin bidding for LinkedIn. And the philosophy behind our bidding is to give you automation with control. So you set your goals, your CPA targets, and your ROAS targets, and our bidding algorithms will work their magic to calculate a bid that fits those goals. But you can also layer custom modifiers on top of that if you want to, for business reasons like bid caps or bid floors. You can boost your bids by a percentage. whatever makes sense for you and your business. And then that calculated bid gets sent to the LinkedIn engine. And on top of that, LinkedIn's enhanced CPC bidding will then layer on custom modifiers in the, like, for auction time bidding. So you really have 3 different layers of optimization going into calculating your bids. And our customers tend to see a 20% performance lift when partnering with Marin for their bidding. So I'll give just a quick overview of some success some of our clients have seen. Blast Analytics was able to increase their conversion rates while decreasing their CPE, and also use that BI Connect feature I talk about to export their data seamlessly to their Google Data Studio reporting suite. Red Letter Days was able to gain efficiencies across the board while keeping their spend flat and their conversion rate flat. So they saw an increase in form conversions while also seeing a decrease in CPC. So really great stuff to see here. Now I'll pass it off to Amandine to let you know how you can learn a little bit more about Marin.
Yes, thanks, Lauren. Fantastic results, by the way. So yeah, let's get you started before the Q&A. So here are 2 things that you can do straight away. First, you can get a free audit on your LinkedIn activity with Marin One. So sign up now at marinsoftware.com/LinkedIn-trial. It's free, you don't have anything to lose, and a lot of insights to gain. And second one, which I'm a big fan of and super user, Melissa, do you want to tell us more about it?
Sure, thank you. So this is our free LinkedIn Marketing Labs course, which you can access via the training.marketing.linkedin.com. And to learn the science of marketing to professionals on LinkedIn, and you can go online, train, get a certificate on campaign management, media planning, and strategy. It's a really fun way to get to know more B2B and LinkedIn, as Amandine can attest to.
I sure can. Right, so we got a few questions, and I think this one from Michael is a great one to start with. Is asking, should I advertise on LinkedIn if I'm not in B2B?
Yeah, sure, I'd love to take that one. So not surprisingly, something we get often. I've touched a little bit on this today, but the reality is that we have professionals behind the screen and making a part of every business. And so LinkedIn uniquely recognizes that a member is not just a professional, but also a high value consumer. And we have a trusted environment where marketers come, marketers who are people, to, in that perfect intersection of life and work. And again, high value consumers, we see great results in high consideration, luxury, auto. Those are the types of education, of course, major sectors for us on LinkedIn that perform very, very well on our platform. So not just B2B, B2P, person, professional. We often joke about that at LinkedIn. It's not B2B, it's B2P, person.
Great. Right, a second question. So how can I incorporate the data and insights into my LinkedIn strategy? So Lauren, I think you touched a little bit on that, but can you give us a quick summary?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're looking at incorporating website conversion data, you can utilize LinkedIn's tracking pixel and automatically optimize towards those conversion types on the website. And then for offline conversion data that you're tracking through something like a CRM, you're going to want to probably utilize a marketing partner such as Marin in order to utilize that data and optimize towards it for bidding.
Great. So Melissa, I think it'd be great if you could help with that one. So someone's asking, what do you find useful in a third-party platform like Marin? Can you take that one?
I mean, I feel like you and Lauren have basically shown us today what a great partnership looks like, what a great partnership enhances a product, right? Enhances our offering. But really, truly at the core of what we're looking for in our partnership program and our strategy is to create value. And so that's at the core of everything we do. You know, what's in it for our customers is the first thing we ask when we are engaging in a new partnership. what's in it for the partner, what's in it for LinkedIn. And if there's value all around, which is the perfect case scenario, like it is with Marin One, then we create a flourishing partnership to, again, bring value, add something, enhance something in the ecosystem. We still have quite a closed program, if you will, because we're curated. We really want to work with partners that are adding something to our customers. And so another big piece of this is co-creating a B2B ecosystem. And so I think for a long time, we've tried to fit a square peg into a round hole, making B2B marketers go through a process that's really made for B2C. And I'm keen and inviting the whole ecosystem to think about how we build new and greater things for B2B. That's really an important aspect of how we look at our partnerships, because we're in a unique position to do so. And lastly, like in it together, right? The highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's how we, like any other good partnership, that's what we want in our partners, to work together, to be honest, to be transparent, to have integrity, to really carry on our culture is a big part of how we work with partners and select our strategy.
Great. Right, let's take one that is a bit more tactical. So my CPA is a little high. How can I fix that? Lauren, I feel this one is for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of different things could be going on here. It's time to, I think, do some investigation and maybe some testing to try and figure out what's going on. But a couple of things that it definitely might be is if you see that you're getting impressions, but you're not getting clicks, it might be down to creative. So try to make your creative more engaging, more compelling, more relevant to your target audiences. Make it custom for LinkedIn, not just what you're using on other platforms, kind of like Melissa touched on earlier. I would also say, make sure that you're not targeting too small of a group. So you need to keep in mind that people may not spend as much time in their day on LinkedIn as they would on other social platforms, because they come to LinkedIn for like a very specific reason. They're not just browsing all day. So your audience size is you're probably going to want it to be bigger than you may think in order to actually reach the target amount of people you want to reach in a given day. Additionally, you can test out, like if you're on a target cost bid strategy, you can test out lowering your target to see if the algorithm is able to bring that efficiency down. Or if you're on manual bidding, test out lowering your target CPCs to lower than maybe the recommended max CPC. See if the algorithm can bring your cost down, or your cost down and your CPA down. If you're not able to bring your CPA down by making changes to your bid strategy, it's probably something else going on with your ads. I would also say segment make a campaign per audience. So for each audience, have a unique campaign, so then you can see which audiences are driving the best CPA and kind of put more spend towards those high performing audiences.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren. We're going to take one last question. This one is quite interesting. Are there any privacy concerns to be aware of when advertising on LinkedIn? Privacy is all the rage these days. So, Melissa, can you answer this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to, because honestly, trust is at the cornerstone of everything we do at LinkedIn. Members first is a tenet. It's a value of ours in our culture, and it's another one of those things that we pose in front of us whenever we make a decision, particularly when it comes to product. And is this member first? Is this valuing the member? Is this respecting their privacy? And if it's not, even if there's business arguments or revenue arguments for it, it's a hard no. And so I think that having that as a guiding principle for us is really the reason why I'm really proud to announce and say that LinkedIn has been voted most trusted media platform by Business Insider for 4 years in a row, and honored to be among the world's most ethical companies by Ethisphere Institute for 6 years in a row. And so I think everywhere that we look, we see that our members trust us, our audience trusts us, because we've always taken our privacy, their privacy, and that trust very, very seriously. And it's really a big part of as well why our partner program, our third-party platform program, is very curated. We want to make sure that our partners are, aligned in that integrity and that trust and that privacy with us.
Fantastic. Well, that's all the time we have for today. So I really want to thank you so much, Melissa and Lauren, for joining us today and sharing all these great insights with us. Really enjoyed the conversation. And I hope this was helpful for everyone. And don't forget to sign up for your free audit. And we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.